We all fall off our bikes occasionally. You guys send in your videos of fails and bails in the Dirt Shed show.
Whoa!
Ah. But today we're going to look at how to avoid the most common reasons for falling off your bike. Over the bars, probably the most spectacular of all crashes, can be caused by lots of different reasons, but the first one we're going to look at is going off drop-offs and not getting that weight off the front wheel. So you can see this drop-off is probably 2 or 3 feet tall, and if I don't do anything, just roll off here, my front wheel's going to drop, and it's really easy for me to get up and over those bars. So first thing to do is to lower your saddle. Dead easy if you've got a dropper seat post. If not, definitely think about maybe using your quick release or getting an Allen key out just to lower it a little bit. It's going to give you much more space to be able to get behind the bike. If your hips are still up here and then you drop off, it's really easy to go over the bars. Your technique really depends on the speed you've got coming into the drop off. So slower speed, you're going to need a proper manual. Bit quicker, just get behind the bike. But things that are really important as well is really coming off the brakes or stopping pedaling before you get to the drop, concentrating on the technique you need to do, but also keep your head up, look at the run out, and don't do anything with your brakes, pedals again until you land and your bike is settled. Crashes on jumps can be pretty nasty. I think there's 2 main reasons for crashing on jumps. One is getting bucked, so getting your weight sent forward, and the other is going sideways in the air and crashing when you land. So let's look at both of those. Jumps pretty much always go wrong on the takeoff, and that's when they just get worse in the air. So the main reason for getting bucked and your weight going forward is for getting up and forward too early on the takeoff. So lots of people will stand up and get their hips tall to try and make the air, but that can send weight towards the bars, and that's just going to get worse. It can also happen if your rear shock is set too fast on the rebound, and it'll kick you when you take off. Getting sideways in the air is often down to people pulling on the handlebars. So rather than using like a manual then a bunny hop technique to make the air, if you pull on the bars, you can often pull one way or the other a little bit too much, starts going sideways, and it's only going to get worse. One of the most common causes of crashes in corners is that dreaded slide of the front wheel. Sometimes the first thing you know about it is you're sliding down the trail on your knee. Now that can be down to weight distribution on the bike, which I'll talk about in a minute, but it also can sometimes be down to actually the trail. As you can see here, there's a really loose part of this corner on the way in. So that's something that you just need to actually try and spot before you get there, and either slow down a little bit or just try and predict that slide. So if you're washing out the front wheel a lot, it could be down to your weight movement or bike setup. So try and balance your weight over both wheels. And if it feels unnatural to do that, to maybe lower your chest to the bars, then maybe think about playing around with your fork setup or playing around with the spaces underneath the stem to make it feel natural. It could also be a case of you dragging the front brake a little bit, so definitely try and come off that front brake as soon as you're in that corner. Other crashes in corners could be down to going offline. Sometimes this is because you misjudged the speed and drifted wider in the turn than you thought, or maybe you just need to look a bit further around the turn to plan it a bit better. Hitting unexpected obstacles can also make you crash. Almost like the drop off, it's good to have that manual ready just in case you need it. There's a bit of wood sticking out into the trail here. It'd be really easy to drift a little bit wide, hit that and slide with my front tyre, especially if it's wet. So I'm always trying to scan for these things down in my peripheral vision and get ready to just move my weight back, to do a little manual if needs be. When it comes to crashing, brakes can play a massive part. Obviously not enough, you'll be going too fast, you can crash. But similarly, using too much brakes can actually get you into trouble. This is a great example. I've got a really steep, short chute that's loose. I'm going to need to brake really hard, but too much front brake, for example, and it's going to slide and I'm going to be in bother. So I need to drop in nice and slow, use my brakes and actually ease off when I get into that loose stuff. So there you go, there's a few reasons why people crash, and hopefully you now know how to avoid some of those. Send your videos to the Dirt Shed for a progression session of you improving, and if you're not quite improving, if you fall off your bike, send it as well. Hopefully I'll get into fails and bails, so send them to dirtshed@jmbn.com. Click on this logo here to subscribe to JMBN if you haven't done already, and click down there for another video that's going to hopefully help you stop crashing. That's how to manual and how to corner over here. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video.